You are a chimpanzee in the Thai forest, Côte d'Ivoire. You are sitting beside your mother. She hasn't moved in 3 days. You groom her. You brush flies from her face. You wait. There's no word in your mind for what has happened. No concept of gone. You only know that she was warm, and now she isn't. That she answered you, and now she doesn't. The scientists watching from 30 meters away are scribbling furiously. Because you shouldn't be doing this. According to 50 years of received wisdom, you shouldn't understand enough to grieve. And yet, here you are. Not moving, not leaving. The paradox isn't whether animals feel something when the ones they love die. Clearly, they do. The paradox is this: do they know it's coming for them too? And the answer is stranger than either yes or no. In 1970, anthropologist Ernest Becker wrote confidently that the knowledge of death is reflective and conceptual, and animals are spared it. He meant it as a kindness. Animals live, he argued, inside a kind of eternal present. No dread, no existential weight. For decades, that settled it. Then the observations started piling up. In 2018, an orca named Tahlequah carried her dead newborn calf for 17 days, traveling more than 1,600 kilometers before finally releasing it beneath the waves. In India, researchers documented an elephant herd covering the body of a dead calf with mud, then standing over it, trumpeting for nearly an hour. Elephants have been observed walking in slow circles around a body in patterns researchers describe as indistinguishable from human mourning rituals. And the question shifted. Not, do animals feel something? But how much do they actually understand? Because understanding death isn't one thing. It's a ladder. And different animals stand on different rungs. So what do animals actually grasp? It wasn't one insight that changed the science, it was several disciplines: philosophy, cognitive ethology, primatology, stacking their findings together until a new picture emerged. Here's the thing most people never consider. Understanding death doesn't require knowing you will die. It only requires noticing that something is permanently, irreversibly different. Philosopher Susanna Monceau identified just two minimum components: non-functionality, grasping that a dead individual no longer does what living creatures do, and irreversibility, understanding that this state is permanent. No theology, no dread. Just, this being moved, and now, it never will again. The cognitive requirements are surprisingly modest. The ability to distinguish biological motion from stillness. The ability to update your expectations when a pattern breaks. Crows appear to have this. Geese and swans who mate for life grieve when a partner disappears, but recognizing that something is permanently ended is not the same as knowing the clock is ticking for you too. In Gombe National Park, Tanzania, scientists documented 33 cases of chimpanzee mothers carrying the corpses of their dead infants, with behavioral evidence that the mothers recognized death had occurred and continued carrying anyway. They weren't confused, they knew, and still couldn't let go. This looks uncomfortably like the thing humans do when we know something is true but cannot make ourselves feel it yet. James Anderson of Kyoto University believes dolphins and elephants grasp death at a level roughly equivalent to a human adolescent. Not the 3 in the morning terror humans know, but something real, something pointing in that direction. The science crossed a threshold around 2010 with the formal emergence of comparative thanatology, the study of how animals respond to death. Before, individual observations were treated as anomalies. After, the cases stopped being exceptions. They became a pattern. The world before. Animals lived in the present tense only. The world after. That boundary was far more porous than anyone wanted to admit. Here is what no one talks about when they celebrate this discovery. We spent a century telling ourselves that animals were spared the burden of knowing, that the slaughterhouse, the laboratory, the habitat destroyed, these were clean wounds at least, painless in that particular way. The new science doesn't permit that comfort. Animals kept in captivity or killed for a soon-forgotten meal may suffer in ways compounded by some awareness of death and loss. We didn't find out animals know about death and breathe a sigh of relief. We found out, and then had to decide what to do with that. If you want more stories that make the familiar world feel strange again, subscribe. We used to think death was the one burden evolution was kind enough not to give them. It turns out evolution wasn't kind. It was just quiet about it, and we weren't listening closely enough.